Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media. The two hikers made their way up the trail toward the end of the day as the cool of evening settled in. With each hairpin in the trail, they gained in elevation and lost in energy. The investment yielded dividends in a view and majestic scenery. The brush pushed near the trail in spots, decreasing visibility and feeling like an embrace from Mother Nature. The trail had its own character, with thick roots protruding from the ground and rocks that required the hiker's attention to avoid rolling an ankle. With their attention split on trail safety and scenery, the hikers trudged forward into an incident that would change their lives. Rounding a hairpin, they climbed the last few steps before hearing the brush break above the trail. Suddenly, a huge and angry sow grizzly bear emerged from the brush and bounded down the trail, followed by her cub. Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Scalplock Mountain rises in the Walton area of Glacier National Park, where steep ridges descend toward the middle fork of the Flathead River. The surrounding forest is a dense mosaic of subalpine fir, larch, Engelmann spruce, and mountain hemlock. Huckleberry and beargrass carpet the understory, while clear creeks tumble through rocky ledges and around cascading bends. In August, the park's air carries the faint scent of earth and pine, and daylight fades quickly along the shaded slopes. Large plant-eating animals such as elk, mule deer, and mountain goats roam these valleys, while black and grizzly bears, mountain lions, and coyotes patrol the margins. The country is wild and seldom forgiving. Visitors are reminded that they are only guests in a land ruled by instinct and survival. On the evening of Friday, August 13th, 1999, a 42-year-old man named Bruce Gillis from Philadelphia hiked up the Scalplock Trail alone, while 35-year-old Sharon Rose and 43-year-old Mark Sargent were hiking the same route at a different location on their visit from New England. The trail runs about 4 miles in length and winds its way up Scalplock Mountain with over a dozen hairpins culminating at the fire lookout. It is a steep climb, but there is much more danger along this trail than the terrain. Each hiker had seen the many warning signs about bears, but only one of 3 packed bear spray, and none carried a firearm. Though separated by distance and time, they would soon be bound together by a rare and unpredictable catastrophe. The Scalplock Lookout Trail has long been a known corridor for bear movement. In August of 1999, a sow grizzly with a cub was traveling this area, likely eating berries from the numerous berry bushes. Late that morning, Bruce Gillis was hiking alone when a rustling along the trail drew his attention. As he looked on, a sow grizzly and her cub suddenly appeared on the trail ahead. She charged without hesitation. In a flash of brown fur and muscle, the angry sow swatted Gillis, knocking him to the ground. She vented her fury on him with a series of bites and swats across his shoulders. She bit down on his arms as he screamed and tried to fend off her jaws. After making sure he couldn't threaten her cub, the sow disappeared into the brush, leaving Gillis bleeding, in pain, and dazed. His shouts echoed down the trail, and 2 horse-mounted park maintenance workers found him bleeding but alive. They hoisted him up onto a horse and began the long ride back toward Walton Ranger Station. A little over a mile down the trail, Mark and Sharon were trudging up the trail when they looked up and saw a horrible sight. The sow and her cub were barreling down the trail toward them and would be on them in no time. In a furious attack, the sow mauled both hikers, leaving Mark with deep puncture wounds on his back and claw marks raked into the flesh of his shoulders. Sharon was much more seriously wounded, as the bear tore deeper lacerations and punctures and injured one of her knees. Now facing a trio of severely frightened and wounded people, the rescuers split up, one continuing with Gillis, the other staying to assist Sargent and Rose. Eventually, all 3 victims were evacuated from the trail and flown to Kalispell Regional Hospital for treatment. The attacks happened within a short span of time and space, a rare chain of encounters that rattled even Glacier's seasoned rangers. The bear, accompanied by her cub, appeared to have been surprised twice in quick succession, reacting defensively in both instances. The National Park Service recorded both incidents as defensive attacks, and were relieved when there were no fatalities, but all resulting in serious injuries. If the maintenance workers hadn't been making their way up to the lookout, this incident may have ended with much more dire consequences. This cluster of incidents underscored Glacier's recurring challenge. Human travel routes often bisect feeding and bedding zones for bears. Late summer berry shortages or high visitor traffic can increase the odds of encounters. The park later reinforced trailhead warnings and temporarily closed parts of the Walton region until rangers confirmed the sow and her cub had moved on. Rangers later closed the Scalplock Trail and conducted a full sweep to ensure no other hikers were in danger. After extensive interviews and scene investigations, the National Park Service decided no efforts would be made to destroy the sow or her cub. The bears were later sighted moving away from the area, healthy and behaving naturally. The victims, all treated and released, credited park personnel and the maintenance workers with saving their lives. In interviews, Bruce Gillis himself expressed no hatred toward the animal, remarking that the bear didn't intend to kill, it just reacted. His forgiveness became symbolic of the delicate balance between people and the wild. As for the motives for the attacks, the sow was clearly reacting defensively on behalf of herself and her cub. There was no cached animal carcass nearby, and the sow didn't linger near the victims, indicating there was no predatory motives in her reactions. She simply wanted to keep her cubs safe. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Cheer membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to episodes, photos, and notes. And the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. At the time of these attacks, Glacier National Park held an estimated 300 to 600 grizzly bears across its more than 1,000 square miles of rugged wilderness, roughly one bear for every 2 square miles of prime habitat. Although this density is among the highest in the lower 48 states, bear attacks remain rare. Most encounters cause no injury, and nearly all aggressive encounters are defensive rather than predatory. Glacier's incident records from the late 20th century show that surprising encounters, especially involving sows and cubs, make up the majority of maulings. After the Scalplock event, the park emphasized the importance of group travel, constant noise-making, and carrying bear spray. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Would the use of bear spray have changed the outcome of this attack? Could the periodic use of an air horn alerted the sow to the hiker's presence? Would the use of a firearm or bear bells have influenced this attack? I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.